guys, and welcome back to episode 3 of Making Dungeon Tiles with me, Sakari. And so as you can see before me, we have them all laid out as we did at the end of last episode. But of course, we have a few additions of little mushrooms over here and our figures just fighting away, our wizard and our rogue shooting at this mother beast down here. They're actually giving her a name. It's a 3D miniature that I got printed. A Weaver Worm of sort. She's from 2nd edition D&D. But yeah, so today we're going to be diving into giving these some life. Last episode you may have noticed I didn't actually give these tiles washes. And that's because I like to give tiles a wash once I've finished all the detail and flocking and things like that to tie it all together. So we're going to dive straight in with giving these tiles different effects. We're going to start off with several different types of flocking and of course our trusty old PVA glue to dive straight in. So let's start. So guys, here we have a bunch of different things. We have all different types of flocking, from some of the cheaper types to even pencil shavings, as well as in here, no, this is not coffee, some small gravel, which is about the scale we want for the gravel. Other types of grass flocking, though this is a cave doesn't mean that algae can't grow. So we have a load of different types of algae. We also have some grass. I don't know if I'm going to use this one or not, as this is actually for a static grass applicator, which I do not have. I've got some more different types of grass in here, which I've called light grass. We have some dirt flocking in here in this Oreo ice cream tub, which is this. And in here we have some more light green, cheap flocking, which is actually the same type as we have in here, but in here we have a mixture. Other than that, I do believe we have, here we have a mixture of PVA and water in a Fanta bottle, which has some holes in the top for spraying on, and our good old trusty PVA. Now, I do also want to add spider webs and small little mushrooms to this, but we're going to get to that in a moment. So, let's dive straight in. So you guys would have noticed there that actually my bottle cap of my PVA and water mixture was actually got quite clogged halfway through, and I had to open it up. Also this. Now why do I have a vanilla ice cream lid here? Well, that's to catch all the bits of gravel. As much as I'm using a cutting board with a lip around it, I like to catch a majority of my flockings on something like this, so I can then pour it back into the container. So yeah, I only did a few tiles, but yeah, the gravel really does add a little bit to it. And when we add the flocking, the other flockings, and also the washes, it will tie it all together and it will look great. So, let's go ahead and add some other types of flocking. Well, welcome back guys. So actually it's the next day now. As you can see, some parts over here, the PVA still haven't dried. It's not really been PVA drying, however. But yeah, the parts of the flocking are pretty much in place in different places. Some places I went a bit heavy-handed, but that is what it is. Now the next thing we're going to do guys is give this thing a good old wash. And now wash is a mix of black paint, watered down, and with some sort of seeping agent or flow aid in it. Normally washing up liquid or something like that can be used. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my bottle of personal black brown wash, and I'm going to give all of these tiles a unified wash to just tie everything together. But before I do that, you may have seen in the time lapse that I used some natural mosses. Now I dip these in PVA, but they dry a bit brittle and easy to move, easy to break. So I'm going to hit this up with some super glue just to reinforce it and attach it into place. And yeah, then we will add in the washes. And after the washes, we'll come back and we'll add in some more things. For example, this, a bird's skeleton I found that could be a serpent skull or something that is located in one of the caves. We're just going to make some different scatter terrain and put that in. We're going to make some cobwebs and things like that. As you can see, the cave really does stand out, the one we made in episode 1. With the gravel in front of it, you can really see the depth in there. As I said before, just that small indent that we cut in makes it look so much more. And yeah, in another episode I will show you guys how to make these mushrooms over here. If you wish, if you want me to show that, leave a comment below and I will get around to that, making more of those. But yeah, so let's get around washing these guys and enjoy the time lapse. So, welcome back guys. Right now, all the tiles are curing. They're drying off. Some of the flockings seem to react a little bit better to the wash than the others. It's understandable. Always test your flockings first. I will be giving them a little bit more flocking, like a dry coat of flocking after they're all bone dry. But yeah, right now we're going to look at this, which is a natural skeleton found in the wild, in nature. It's just a bird's spine and backbone. It's been sterilized, and yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to hit it up with a bit of dry brushing to highlight places, and then we're just going to give it a little base for scatter terrain, so we can just place it into the dungeon. We don't want to have it situated in a tile because that's going to restrict how we use it. We might want to use it on different cave tiles or different terrain later on. So let's try and make this a small little base. And then we're going to take some balsa wood and we're going to make some small other decorations and things for the cave tiles. And then we're going to set all of these up, guys, and we're going to see how it's going to turn out at the end. As you can see though, my cutting board is not here right now as all the tiles are drying on it. But yeah, we're just going to paint this guy up and see how it goes. So yeah guys, these are just a few of the small little things that you can make up to put into your dungeon of your cave system. And these can really go on any terrain. You've already seen the mushrooms, but yeah, there's these. The bone piece is still drying, so we're going to get to that in a second. Which will probably be the next day for me, but in a few minutes for you. So yeah, that piece we're going to texture up. As you've seen, we have been using, and let me get some more of it out real quick. Some of this moss, dried lichen moss. You can buy this from your local florist. They'll sell it for inside the baskets of plants and flowers. And also, another thing I used for the lichen, as I showed earlier, was this flocking. It's in German. I don't speak German, so whatever it says there. I don't think this was actually good for using in a static grass applicator, but you never know. I've never played around with them. So yeah, we've got our broken little box that if you want to be really finicky with, you can paint black inside, add maybe some tentacles, make it into a mimic box if you wish. And then we have our little chest here. We're broken on the top. Someone's clearly tried to get into this. Just a piece of random driftwood. Like, there's normally these, if you look at maps and dungeon tiles and dungeon maps in the DMG, you're going to find pieces of driftwood just sort of littering the map. And that's pretty much what this one is. So we have those three, which are just ones I've whipped up right now, as you saw. We've got our bone piece that will be ready soon. Other than that, I think, guys, that's almost going to be it. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to wrap up for tonight. But I'll be back in a second, guys, for you with the bone piece painted up and ready, and maybe a few more scattered terrain pieces that I'll have done in the meantime. So guys, welcome back. As you can see, I've now installed different parts of Scout Terrain, and we can see with this piece, if I lift it up here, you can see I added a light layer of dry brushing over the whole thing. We can see it turned out actually really nice. This whole skeletal piece. It's amazing what you can do with things you find in nature, and it blends in perfectly with the ground, as though a chunk of rock has been broken away and inside revealing the skeletons of a long lost beast. You can see over there our black pudding just writhing and coming towards them while a spider crawls out of one of the caves that we made. The caves turned out better than I expected actually, they turned out really nice. And our other one's actually right there. Now what we're going to do is actually on this cave here. So I'm going to remove the tile. It's this one. We're going to add some cobwebs to this now. And now if it's close to Halloween, oh, I'm dropping my tiles. If it's close to Halloween, you will be aware of the cheap spider webs, cobwebs, that you can get from your local pound store or Dollarama or somewhere like that. I'm not sure Dollarama has it or not, but at least you Target and them, they'll have it. And it'll just be the very cheap big bag of cobweb that you can get and then decorate your house with. Now, I happened to get some of that last Halloween, and for this reason I'm going to use that. And what we're going to be doing is attaching a few strands on this tile, and maybe one other tile. I haven't decided which one yet, probably one of these corner pieces. And just adding some cobwebs, maybe using some cotton wool, make some mummified corpses as well. Might turn out good. So I'm going to try that now, guys. But before I do, one thing I did like is how we've got, like on this tile, the wash dried in a little bit of pools. Left some dark patterns in. That wash really tied things together, but at the same time added so much more character and depth and detail to these tiles. If you wish to make them lighter, you could always hit them up with a dry brush. And I myself later on will be hitting these up with a purple dry brush to give them more of an underdark feel. But right now, we're going to go ahead and add some cobwebs on this. So let me get my supplies, and we're going to jump into hopefully another time lapse of a simple transformation of probably these two tiles here into some spidery terrain. Let's begin. So as you can see, guys, we have the little cave. It's still there, goes deep in there. We have a cocooned creature of some sort out here, which you saw was just PVA and the same cobweb mixed together. And then you can also do this, of course, with cotton wool. Don't know if it'll give the same effect or not, but yeah, we have a very thick spider web here where we can add some spiders later on. I've currently got some 3D printing, but yeah, we can add those on here. So we have our little cave of spiders and spidery den, which we can then go about and just put back in our little diorama here. I literally can't remember how I had these set up. I think this one was here. I have some small pieces of foam on this board, so tiles aren't sitting perfectly, unfortunately. But for those of you with Proxan and hot wire cutters, I guarantee this will be an easy walk in the park for you, as all your tiles will be annoyingly perfect and placed perfectly, because they will fit together. For us who rely on knives, perfection is secondary, almost. But yeah, there we go. See, I don't like this tile here, let's rotate it. This. There we go. So yeah, guys, there we have it. So we've got our cave tile with cobwebs. We've got our muddy, grimy cave tiles with our moss and algae growing. So are the more swampy parts. We have our large cavern with the mushrooms growing that I'll do in a different video. Have our bones and skeletal parts. Our little chest over here where our adventurers maybe will stumble across some treasure. Now guys, I hope you enjoyed this small mini series of making cave tiles. If you did, guys, please think about liking and subscribing to the channel and hitting that bell icon for more video updates. Next episode, which will be a new series of scatter terrain. These are sort of just small hints of scatter terrain, but next episode we will be building things. This is just a little hint, like this. What could this be? Leave your theories on what this is in the comments below, and you'll find out if you got it right next week, in next week's episode. So yes, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, like, subscribe, share, and I will catch you guys in the next video. This is Sakari Olara signing out. Have a good day, guys.